All right, hello everybody. This is Steve with Two Flukes Up. I'm up in I don't even know where I am. I'm going to have to ask you to explain where I am because it's going to be something special. But I am at least in the city or town of Tofino up in British Columbia, and I'm at what's called the Whale Center. This here is John, the owner. It was such a great time. I thought he was kind enough to join us and talk a little bit about what the Whale Center is, what they do. But I want to tell you what I did today because he offers a number of different trips. Yeah. Some of them are a little surprising. If I were to mention the word bear sighting trips at a whale watching place, got your attention there. But what I did, instead of going on the typical traditional whale watch, you all know that that's all I do and it's everywhere that I've gone. Instead, there's something special up in here in Tofino called Natural Hot Springs, somewhere a little bit to the northwest of us, I believe. And you can only get there by either plane or by boat. And you know, as soon as I found out about that, it made my personal bucket list real fast because it's a natural type of environment. And I knew that on the 90-minute trip to get there on the boat, that the potential to see whales was certainly there. And of course, we did see gray whales making their migration. We didn't see any permanent residents. They're really not baked in yet. There's still a few. There are some in the area. But we saw otters. I was very surprised by that. My favorite, you know from all of my photographs, the stellar sea lions, a big giant rookery of them. Standard California sea lions were mixed in within. We saw bald eagles all over the place. And something I had never seen that I would not have noticed had it not been for the fantastic boat captain. He pointed out to a beach where some local people live, and of all things, they have wild cows out there on the beach. Did not expect to see that at all. Also saw a very friendly, what I'm going to call a blue jay, and I have a feeling the name of that bird is wrong, but he hung out with us.
Stellar jay.
Okay, it's a stellar jay, I just knew, but it was just beautiful blue, so blue I'm going to call it beautiful. But I'll get some photos put up, but in the meantime, I'm going to hand it over to John here. He's going to talk to us about the Whale Center, some of the different trips that he offers, and what makes the Whale Center special up here in the whole Tofino area.
Yeah, well, thanks, Steve. Pleasure to meet you. Love the Two Flukes Up. That's a great logo. Yeah, I'm John Forde. I've owned the whale watching company, the Whale Center in Tofino, for over 30 years now. Been doing this, and I do this because I'm passionate, like Steve, about the wildlife and the animals in the area. The trips we offer are whale watching, hot springs tour and soak, which includes wildlife viewing. We do bear watching, which is really cool because we go to watch black bears come down to feed on the intertidal zone at low tide. And so you go by boat and you're in the boat when they come down to the shore, and you actually get really good looks at them in their natural habitat. And then I also do some specialized bird watching and offshore pelagic trips as well. All the skippers that work for me, like you had Tim today, who are local guys that have been working here and in the area for numerous years. Like most of them have been with me for 5 to 15 plus years. And so when you go out with us, you're going to get small groups, up to 12 passengers, and a very intimate sort of local knowledge of the area as well as the wildlife that you get to see.
That's great. Well, one thing that I thought was really great, and y'all can't see it because the cameraman actually works here with John, but John and I can see her shirt, and it talks about the CARE Network. And I think that's really special because why don't you tell us again what the CARE Network is and how you work together with it?
Yeah, it's a local organization that works with volunteers to help with mostly domestic animals, and they'll go around to different communities and different individuals and make sure that pets are neutered and spayed and properly looked after, and any types of abuses or whatever, they will intercede and step in and see if they can't help those animals.
Well, that's great because also every portion of every ticket, regardless of what trip that he sells to all of the people coming through town, certain proceeds go to where?
Yeah, mostly to Strawberry Island Research, which is a local organization that I'm a part of, and it's involved in marine and terrestrial environmental studies. We started by documenting the migration and feeding patterns of transient killer whales. And so we do photo IDs, where they go, what they're feeding on, which groups are showing up. And then we've got involved in disentanglement work, where any animals, marine mammals that show up, and like I've disentangled, been involved in over 20 whales that have ropes and traps and floats dragging off them.
Well, down in the United States, where I'm from, there's plenty of disentanglement teams, and they're so underfunded. A lot of that equipment, it's specialized and custom made, and there's really not a lot of budget to help pay for it. But in order to actually participate in those teams, you actually have to be, for the lack of a better term, licensed. You need to be specially trained. It's my understanding there are 5 different levels of training, one being the easiest, and you only get up to level 5 through special government approvals. But the general public is really not allowed by law to participate in that. Now, is that the same here in Canada, or how does it work?
It's exactly the same, and for years that's what it was, and we were the only non-government sanctioned body that was allowed to go out and do this.
The Whale Center.
The Whale Center. Strawberry Island Research.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Strawberry Island Research, which I work with, and unfortunately our local government DFO, Department of Fisheries and Oceans, the individual that helped us and set us up and helped fund us retired, and the new guy that came in is more in-house and authoritarian and doesn't want any public help with that sort of stuff, even though I've got more training and history with doing that sort of things. So it's a little bit of a gray area, and but still, we have to keep up the good work. And we work with them and try and do as much as we can to benefit the animals.
So if Strawberry Island calls you, you're there.
I'm gone.
Yep, there you go. All right. So another thing here, perhaps you might be noticing in the background, is this might be a small office, but it's still a museum. And behind us is the skeleton of a gray whale. So tell you what, why don't you tell us what you've got here? If you could just follow him with the camera. I don't need to be in the shot, but you're not going to find what you're seeing here in any typical whale watching operation.
As you can see, we've got a full 40-foot gray whale skeleton in here, although it's only about a 30-foot room, so we've had to store some of the vertebrae and bones down below. This particular whale was washed up in 1992, and we managed to get it from off of the beach and bring it in and go through the process of cleaning the bones so that we could put it on display for everyone to see.
That is really cool, because typically you don't get to do those type of things. Another difference with the United States is, for the average citizen such as myself, it's illegal to actually have any piece of whale bone in your possession. It's all because of a combination of the Endangered Species Act and the Marine Mammal Protection Act, but help make it enforced and stay so strong as that law is, they have to make it illegal. Now, if you know people and you've got legitimate reason to have pieces of bone for display, you can apply, and they're usually very gracious about giving you some of the bones or whatever that you may need. But it's remarkable that we're actually able to get up so close and personal to see all of that. So with that, everyone, John, I want to thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Steve. It's been a pleasure.
And Jess, our cameraman behind the scenes, thank you. I hear you laughing. And with that, going to sign off. This is Steve with Two Flukes Up. Highly recommend coming out to Tofino, which we forgot. It's the last, where are we?
We're on the far west coast of Vancouver Island, near Pacific Rim National Park at Long Beach. And once you get to Nanaimo, you turn left and you keep going as far as you can until the Trans-Canada Highway runs out.
Literally, the last of the highway dead ends at Tofino. So with that, everyone, thank you all. When you come to Tofino, check out the Whale Center. You can't go wrong. Bye-bye, everybody.